Turtle. And just last summer, he participated in the Folger Teaching Shakespeare Institute in Washington, D.C., which I think his wife was a saint, because he was there for 4 weeks, and his wife and kids were all here. He just finished his 14th year of teaching English, and he has coached baseball for 15 years and football for 13 years. Mr. Lavold is truly at the hub of most of our student activities at MHS. And I'd like to welcome him to the class of 2011 faculty speaker.
Good afternoon, Mauston High School. It is June 5th, and this is old school graduation. Well, that was my first idea for an introduction to your graduation address. For you wonderful parents, relatives, friends out there, that's the way that I would greet them every afternoon when I read the announcements. But then, I got Shakespeare on the brain. And I thought of that play, Julius Caesar, and Mark Antony's famous lines. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to graduate the class of 2011. But then I started thinking about that speech. It's a funeral eulogy for crying out loud. This isn't a funeral, all right? So let me just begin by saying what an honor it is to stand before you and addressing the class of 2011 on your graduation day. I've taught speech communications for 13 out of the 14 years here, and every year I tell the students this statistic. Did you know in the USA Today, people stated that public speaking is a bigger fear to them than death itself? And I agree. All right? And then I try and loosen them up a little bit more. I say, you know, if you really have trouble speaking in front of a big crowd, picture everybody in their underwear. That was pathetic advice as well, because my heart feels like it's about to explode. When Ryan Miller told me that I'd been selected to speak, I thought to myself, great job, Lavold. What the heck do you know about giving a graduation speech? And the simple answer to that would be, not much. So what did I do? I went and asked last year's graduation speaker, Mr. Dillon. I said, help me out. And he presented a 7-page speech to me, very eloquently written, and I said, boy, am I in trouble. Then I went on the internet. Yes, this is embarrassing, folks. I went on Google and I typed in successful high school graduation speeches. Yeah, I can't believe I just admitted that, but yeah, that's what I did. Finally, that didn't work either. Finally, I talked to Mr. Saylor last weekend. I said, man, I'm stressing about this. He goes, you just need to be yourself. Well, that seems simple enough. So, what am I? Well, I'm a Shakespeare geek. I like motivational sayings. I like to have a few laughs, and sometimes I like to hear some good advice. So, class of 2011, that's what you're going to get from me today. I remember the first day I laid eyes upon you. Link Crew Rookie Rally 2007, which is the Mauston, yeah, that's fun, yeah, I like it. Which is the Mauston High School version of freshman orientation. I'll tell you what, why don't you guys turn around and look at that, because that's going to be you guys coming in here 4 years ago. Now, when I watched that tape, I could not believe how much change I saw in 4 short years. Some of you are so tiny. Others look scared of their own shadow. While a few of you look like you're all ready to take on the world. Now, I could probably tell a little blurb about 80% of you in here, but I know that there's another video after my speech of teacher memories. So I would like to just share one that goes along with my theme of change and growth. I had a student in my 9th grade academy. She was obviously very bright, but I just couldn't get her to say much. In the class she was in with a the class that she was in was with a bunch of interesting group of rambunctious guys. Yeah, I'm talking about some of you, all right? And sometimes they'd get a little bit out of line. I'd have to use my mean teacher voice. I've had about enough of this. And, you know, I felt kind of bad because she just sat there and she didn't really deserve this. So after class, I walked up to her and I said, you know, that wasn't aimed at you. It was those guys. They just acted ridiculous. And she just kind of looked at me and didn't say much. I'm like, well, that didn't go very well. And she left my academy, and I don't know. A year later, she didn't have me as a sophomore, and then junior year, I'm teaching a speech class, and she comes into my room and says, Mr. Lavold, I need to practice giving a speech, and I was wondering if I could do it in front of your 10th graders. I almost fell over. I'm like, you want to give a speech? I'm like, oh, okay, all right, let's do this. And I think you guys know where I'm going with this story. I'm talking about Ashley Difford, all right? Ashley Difford, who went on to be the lieutenant governor of our key club in Wisconsin and Upper Michigan. She's probably given more speeches than I'll ever give in my life. And but her change didn't come full circle for me until my Shakespeare class this year. Like I said, I remember this girl that wouldn't even hardly look me in the eye and wouldn't say a word. We get to Shakespeare class and we have this final project. And the final project was something creative, and she decided to sing a solo about a Shakespeare play to some tune that I don't recall at the moment, but I was just sitting there and I'm like, she's singing a solo in my class. And then I thought she was done. I gave her a hand, and no, she wasn't done. She gets on top of a table, sits down, grabs a drum, starts banging on it, and starts reciting poetry that she'd written as well. And that's what, all I could do is just think about how far she had come. And it just was a kind of a cool story. And I'm sure many of you all had changes like that, but I'd like to focus on some of the things that your class has accomplished as a whole. Do you realize that all of you have raised over $409,000 of scholarship money in this class? 2 of you have received full tuition scholarships to your educational institution. Many of you are involved in the music and the arts. We have some amazing musicians in this graduating class, talented speakers, wonderful artists, phenomenal writers, including a few who had their work published in the South Central Conference Literary Magazine. We have actors, singers, home builders, car mechanics, farmers, and cooking extraordinaires. How about athletic skill? You had some team or individual performances that were championship caliber. You have classmates playing college volleyball, cross country, football, and baseball. Did you know that only about 10% of all high school athletes go on to play college sports? Some of you had straight A's all the way through high school, while some of you took different paths to get there. I look at a few of you out there that I knew as 9th graders. Whew, lose. All right? But somewhere along the line, the light bulb went on, and to see where you've come is so cool. A few of you left school totally and went off to the Wisconsin Challenge Academy. That was your last chance to turn your high school career around. You made it through, and now you're back graduating your class today on time. We could go on and on and on, but I think you get the point. The class of 2011 has a lot of talent and special people sitting out there in front of me. The last portion of my speech is going to be sharing some advice that I believe will allow you to live a happy and prosperous life no matter what you decide to do after you walk out of the doors of Mauston High School. There's also wisdom that I still have not mastered, and I strive every day to improve upon. And first of all, I think you might have heard this one from Cassie. First of all, be kind to everyone and smile. It does not cost you anything to be nice to someone, and you never know when your kindness is that one bright spot in a person's day. Seize that opportunity to make someone's day with a random act of kindness. I love that movie, Pay It Forward. The concept of the movie is simple. Instead of paying back the person that helped you, do something nice for someone else. Pay it forward. What a concept to make the world a great place. Secondly, repeat after me. Credit cards are dangerous. That's right. When you go to a college football game next year, all right, and there's someone standing outside, hey, sign up for this credit card and you're going to get yourself a t-shirt. Beware. Okay? Credit cards make you feel like you have lots of money, okay? You're going to, first of all, you're going to take that credit card, you're going to buy yourself a new refrigerator for your dorm. And then you're going to think your Xbox is going to look a lot better with a 60-inch TV instead of that 30-inch one you have. But then you get the bill. All right? And mom and dad are not going to want to foot the bill for your $2,000 of credit that you've racked up. So, all I want to say is, beware of credit cards. Now, the ironic thing is if my dad was in the audience right now, he'd be rolling his eyes saying something like, didn't we just have this conversation last week, Chris? Third, enjoy every day you have with a loved one, or a friend, or a teammate. Do you know the song from the 80s hair band called Cinderella? Don't know what you got till it's gone? I bet you Cinderella never thought they'd make a graduation speech. Well, I can relate to that song right now. My 9 seniors on the baseball team were a great group of guys who played a large part of our success for Mauston baseball. And then we lost a game last week that I don't think any of us ever dreamed would happen, and the season was over. While the loss hurts, what really bugs me is that I'm sad that I'll never get to coach these 9 seniors again. It was a great ride. The same can be said with your family. You never know when life can take a twist that you aren't expecting. Enjoy every moment that you have with the people who are important to you. Don't live in the past, don't live in the future, live in the now and cherish it. 4, keep events in your life in the proper perspective. People can make mountains out of molehills. You know, last week I was stressed. For those of you that know me, imagine that. All right? We had lost a baseball game at Nakusa, and it was just a long night. I had school stuff. I was thinking about this speech, and we got home that night, and I was stewing. I was angry. I went, how can we lose in Nakusa? And I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting at my kitchen table, and then I go to bed, and I'm tossing and turning, and I decide to turn the TV on, and the news was on. And all of a sudden, I saw coverage of the devastating tornado destruction in Joplin, Missouri. And I sat there, and I began to feel ashamed that I was ticked off about a 5-3 loss to Nakusa. It kind of really put things in perspective. People lost their homes, their lives, and I was worried about a stupid little baseball game and a stupid little speech. Time after time in my life, I have moments where I appreciate all that I have. Appreciate what you have, and be thankful for everyone you've been blessed with. And don't sweat the small stuff, because in the end, it's almost all small stuff. Number 5, set goals for everything you wish to achieve. I'm a firm believer in the power of the mind. When you set your mind to do something, anything is possible. On Halloween, I weighed enough to be an offensive lineman for the Green Bay Packers. 298 pounds to be exact. With some help and a kick in the butt from my sister, I began a 6-month journey that has led to today where I stand before you weighing 70 pounds less. None of the students in this gymnasium have ever seen me in a suit. That is because the last time I wore this suit was 1999. I vowed to never buy a suit until this one fit me again. Hey, it only took 12 years. I also achieved the goal of running a half marathon 3 weeks ago. 5 months ago, I couldn't run a half mile. Did I share this with you to brag and pat myself on the back? Well, yeah, a little. In all seriousness, you all know me. I love to eat. I was on a first-name basis with the waitresses at China Buffet. And I certainly didn't run. I'm a baseball coach. In baseball, we run 90 feet and we're proud of ourselves. What I'm saying is that with goals, anybody can achieve great things if they have the patience and the willpower. And it's not just about weight loss. Make goals of what you want to achieve in a college course. How far do you want to advance in your job? Do you want your future home to have a white picket fence and 2.3 kids running around? Maybe you want to travel to another country by the time you're age 22. All I'm saying is that goals are what keep your eyes on the prize. Goals are what help make you organized and successful. Finally, number 6. I'm going to steal a line from my friend Shakespeare again. In Hamlet, Polonius shares some advice with his son Laertes before he goes off to college. The last line he leaves him with is this. This above all, to thine own self be true. Do what you believe in. Don't let others put words in your mouth or make your decisions for you. Never sell yourself short because all of you are strong people. Many of you are going off to further your education. Some of you will be protecting our country, and others are going to jump into the workforce immediately. No matter what your path is, be sure to do it with passion. Always give your best effort at what you do. You'll never have any regrets. I'd like to close with a poem by Dale Wimbrell called The Face in the Glass. This is a poem that is a favorite of our football coaching staff here at Mauston, and we like to share it with our players each season. When you get what you want in your struggle for self, and the world makes you king for a day, just go to a mirror and look at yourself and see what that face has to say. For it isn't your father or mother or spouse whose judgment upon you must pass. The person whose verdict counts most in your life is the one staring back from the glass. Some people might think you're a straight shooting chum and call you a wonderful gal or guy, but the face in the glass says you're only a bum if you can't look it straight in the eye. That's the one you must please. Never mind all the rest, for that's the one that you clear up to the end. And you know you look past your most dangerous test if the face in the glass is your friend. You may fool the whole world down the pathway of years and get pats on your back as you pass, but your final reward will be heartache and tears if you cheated the face in the glass. Class of 2011, I want to thank you for giving me the privilege of speaking to you today. It is more of an honor to me than you'll ever know. As I look out at all of you, I can think of all the great moments you've had in the classroom, the auditorium stage, the athletic fields or courts, and you've made the staff here at MHS so proud to call ourselves your teachers. And we salute this great accomplishment you have all achieved. You are about 20 minutes away from being high school graduates. Congratulations. And that's a wrap. Have a great rest of your life, class of 2011. Now, if you look back there, we've got a 9-minute video here for some of your teacher memories.